Hello everybody, my name is here to you and welcome back to Let's Play EarthBound. In the previous video, we explored the deep darkness to hunt down the magic truffles. And in today's video, we're going to be continuing through the main story by talking to these tendas to move the boulder. But before we do that, I have a bit of confession to make. You know how I've been saying that it took me about 2 years or so to plan out this Let's Play? Throughout the entire time, I've had the mindset that at the end of the Magic Truffle episode, we will talk to this Tenda and have this cutscene be part of the credits of that video. I completely forgot to do that when the time came to actually record the video. So I'm gonna have a timestamp on screen right now, so people who don't want to watch this cutscene can just skip ahead to that part of the video. But I'm gonna talk to this Tenda over here, so let's activate the cutscene. Would you like some tea? Drink! I don't want to drink it. You can't make me. Would you like some tea? No! Okay. I love the Tenda. But I gotta say something real quick. The Mr. Saturns and the Tenda, what is in the tea that they give us? Like, jeez. But yeah, in all seriousness, I really do like those cutscenes. They're like really interesting and things like that, and they're actually really well written. Well, this entire game is well written, but especially those cutscenes, like, those are really cool. I'm just going to check to see how much HP. Okay. In between videos, well, not in between videos, on a field recording, I noticed that Paula didn't have a lot of HP left, so I kind of failed a lot of stuff going into the next sanctuary. But anyway, let's go talk to the Tenda. Recently, everyone is able to talk a lot, so I've lost my identity. Aww, you're still important to me. Unless there was a plushie of the Tenda, that'd be so adorable. Powerful, I shall show everyone! My power, inspiring! I probably shouldn't be too loud though, because I have neighbors and it's like actually 3 in the morning by the time of the video. Oh my god, I just realized the time of recording this video is 3:14. It's 3:14, so it's pie. Yay, it's time for pie! Hey, talk to me. Hey! Who is that? Is it you talking, Mushroom? Is it you, magical rope of destiny? Is it you, Frederick the Invisible Man? No, it's the rock. Good evening! Let us really geared you. We have one. Okay, no. I'm a talking rock, but the rock is around here, don't talk too much. The rock that talks the most is deep down the labyrinth of ways ahead in the lost underworld. Don't forget to talk to the rock. It's important. Alright, so now we're going to be entering the Lumine Hall. Now I have a bit of a history with this place, which we'll be getting into a little bit later. But as for right now, we have some new enemies we're going to be encountering. This is a Fobby, as opposed to the weaker Fobby enemy that we encountered earlier in the game. But no, this is a Fobby, and they still look like a demonic, Kirby, evil demon things. But anyway, the stats: 240 HP, 19 power points, 98 offense, 84 defense, 5 speed, 5 guts, and 18,348 experience, $620 with them. Has a 4 and 120 chance dropping in PSI Caramel, which is 100% auto fire, 100% auto freeze, 50% flash, 90% paralysis, 99% Brainshock, 0% hypnosis. Attacks low level damage, Brainshock Alpha, kick off strangeness, PSI Magnet Alpha, drains power points, and HP Sucker drains HP. This enemy might sound really powerful with the ability of being able to use Brainshock, PSI Magnet, and the HP Sucker, which is something usually Jeff is only able to use. But no, this enemy is a joke. These enemies are quite honestly some of the easiest enemies we'll ever. Oh, I have never ever seen the HP Sucker work with this enemy. Okay. This is a little awkward because I was literally just about to say that these enemies hardly ever have successful attacks. I was just proven wrong. Okay, this is a little awkward. Changing subjects. This is the Uncontrollable Sphere. 577 HP, 180 power points, 116 offense, 134 defense, 27 speed, 5 guts, 20,389 experience to defeat them, 796 hours to defeat them. Has a 1 in 120 chance of dropping a broken antenna. We'll go over this item in a moment. Weaknesses: 100% auto fire, 20% auto freeze, 0% flash, 50% paralysis, 0% Brainshock, 99% hypnosis. Attacks: battle level damage, PSI Fire Alpha, 60 to 180 damage, PSI Fire Beta, 120 to 200 damage, and starts having a maniacally no effect. So there's something I'd like to discuss real quick, and that is the broken antenna. This is the final broken item in the game. And when it's fixed, this will become Jeff's ultimate weapon. I have every intention on collecting everybody's ultimate weapon throughout the Let's Play. We already collected Pooh's ultimate weapon, and we will be getting Paula's ultimate weapon in the next episode. But the broken antenna... I have to just explain something about this thing real quick. Well, first of all, let's talk to the rock. Then the ground talking rock seems to want to talk a lot more than I do. I can't talk right now. The broken item, like I said, becomes Jeff's ultimate weapon, and we can very well get it right now. But here's the thing: I kind of don't want to go through 3 more hours of level grinding to find that enemy. At least not while recording. So I'm going to get the broken item in the Let's Play, but I'm going to be getting it off screen. The very next episode after I get it off screen. I'm going to demonstrate at the very beginning of that episode to prove that I did indeed get it, and there will be an annotation in that video taking you back to this point to show you where those enemies are located in the world. We're not going to be getting the broken antenna now. I will get it off screen, and I will so fixing it. But I'm just not going to get it on camera, is what I'm trying to say. How was that a red swirl? One thing I'll say right now is that if you went down that first ladder, do not go down this hole right here, or it'll just take you back in a big circle. And something that just occurred to me while I was fighting those enemies is just how useful the Hungry HP Sucker is against those enemies. Because the Hungry HP Sucker, for those of you who don't remember, this item makes it so that, well, actually, it's probably demonstrated right now. The Hungry HP Sucker takes away everybody's HP on screen, at least for the enemies it'll work against, and it'll revive Jeff's HP. So you can use that on a huge group of Fobby enemies, and you can restore like easily 100 HP if you have like 6 of them, because like they give you like 30 HP for each of the enemies that you fight for those. So you can like get like 180 HP fighting those enemies real quick. Yeah, I did math on screen. You know what? This gives me something pretty funny to talk about, actually, because it's kind of relevant to talk about right now. Actually, first, let's go over the stats for this enemy we're going to be facing right here. This is the Hyper Spinning Robot. 553 HP, 83 power points, 122 offense, 130 defense, 28 speed, 5 cuts, 28,800 experience, $75 to defeat them. Has a 1 in 120 chance of dropping a meteor type. Weaknesses: 25% vulnerable fire, 100% vulnerable freeze, 50% flash, 50% paralysis, 10% Brainshock, 50% pluses. Attacks fires beam and level damage, disrupts your senses, disables somebody's use of PSI, and PSI Sealed Beta defends against physical attacks. A few things I'd like to talk, something I'd like to say real quick before I go back to what I was saying a moment ago. The meteorite items, if memory serves correctly, those items, as well as this other one that sounds familiar but it's not exactly the same thing, when you get those items, they sell for a lot of money, so that's why it's a good idea to go get them early in the game. But the thing is, most of them have a 1 in 120 chance of appearing. And because it's so easy to come across money in the game, I figured it's probably not that worth it, well worth it to try to hunt them down, because we're probably never going to need them. Like you saw earlier, you saw a few videos back, we have as much money as we can ever get in the game. So yeah, we're never gonna have to worry about getting any money in the game. IQ capsules right now, they're kind of useless at this point because Jeff's already has a high enough IQ to be able to fix any broken item in the game, so that's going to be pretty useful and things like that. But going back to what I was saying a moment ago when I was talking about math or whatever, something kind of funny was that like all throughout school, all throughout like grade school, middle school, and high school, I was really bad at math. But for whatever reason, when I started going to college, I'm getting like really good at math and things like that. In my spring term, my first term in math, my teacher often used me as an my work. Okay, first of all, I should probably explain how we do homework in the classes. My spring term, how the homework worked was that we didn't really turn anything in, but we would get credit for putting stuff up on the chalkboard. Real quick, I was to point out that this is right here is the only piece of equipment that Pooh can equip on the other thing on this part of the equipment screen. So that's pretty useful. We will get his other item in the next video because that's where it's going to be located. But yeah, my teacher would often use the things I would write on the chalkboard as tutorial things. I don't know. I can't really think of a proper way to word it right now, but they would use my examples on the board for stuff that we'd be learning in the classroom. And my current term, my fall term, I talked to my teacher about my grade, and he told me that I am tied with another classmate for having the highest grade in the class. So, yeah, needless to say, that makes me pretty happy, considering I was really bad at math when I was a kid. But, yay, college! College gives me smarts. Alright, so now I'm done talking about that. I'll go back to talking about the item of kings that we got a moment ago that I kind of glossed over because I was talking about college or whatever. I don't want to fight those enemies right now. Get away from me, get away from me, get away from me. Okay, yeah, you get away from me. I don't want to fight those enemies. The item of kings is one of the only items that Pooh can equip that actually makes him stronger, because the whole thing of most of the things of equipment, making Pooh weaker in battle. It's very weird, and it's kind of the reason why Pooh's my least favorite party member of the game, because healing items, you can only really heal them with PSI, because most healing items will only restore like 6 HP with them. But yeah, it's not that exciting. You will stop attacking me. You will stop attacking me. You will stop attacking me. I am bad. I don't know what I'm trying to say. What the? Are you kidding me? Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! You will stop it. You are going to suffer the wrath of PSI Rockin'. Okay, good. That's what I thought, you punk. Taught you a lesson. Alrighty then, I guess we should probably use a couple life noodles on Bala so that we can actually have her, because these are going to be pretty useful for the boss fights coming ahead. Yeah, that's exciting. I just realized we have still not gone over the stats for the Conducting Spirit yet. That's the last normal enemy in this sanctuary that we haven't gone over yet, so we're probably going to do them. The enemy in the back is the Conducting Spirit. 587 HP, 329 power points, 130 offense, 139 defense, 26 speed, 5 guts, 30,390 experience, $804 to defeat them. Has a 1 in 1% chance of dropping a brain food launcher. Weaknesses: 75% on fire, 75% on faces, 0% flash, 50% flash, 50% brain suck, 10% hypnosis. Attacks: a PSI Flash Alpha, 85% chance of growing, 15% chance of strangeness. PSI Flash Beta, 60% chance of growing, and 10% chance of strangeness, 15% chance of paralysis, 15% chance of instant defeat. PSI Thunder Beta, 60 to 180 damage to 2 characters, and PSI Thunder Gamma, 100 to 300 damage to 3 characters. I have to say, I am not really all that fond of the Conducting Spirit at the moment, because I just know that his enemy battle chart is going to be such a pain to make because of the PSI Flash stats for this thing. Like, I have to say, the enemy battle charts, they take a really freaking long time to make in this Let's Play. Because, like, for some of them, I have to, like, change the font manually, and I have to type in everything for myself. All this research that I did in this Let's Play, I did myself. I didn't go out and ask anybody to help me with the research for this game. I didn't ask anybody to, like, go look for enemy stats for this area and then come back to me, and then, like, I get all the credit or whatever. I did everything on the research myself. You better appreciate it! I'm just being goofy right now. Please die on the overworld. Oh, yay! Yay! You got defeated on the overworld! Can you be defeated on the overworld too? No, we have to fight you. Stupid orange blob circly thing. That's what I thought. Alright, there are a few more things throughout the Lumine Hall that we're going to be looking for. Let's open this thing up. Nice, sir. Let's open the thing up. There's a luck capsule inside. Who can use this one? Yay, 63, 49. And get, whoa, Pooh has really good luck. Let's give that to... Let's give it to Ness. Okay, let's go down the ladder. The ladder of doom. It's worth mentioning that the lower part of the sanctuary is going to be the part you want to be careful with, because this is going to be where most of your tough enemies are going to be located. The higher area is going to be where most of the Fobby enemies are going to be located, but the lower area is going to be where the Conducting Spirit, the Uncontrollable Sphere, and the Rolling Spinning Robo enemy thing. That's where those enemies are going to be located, so you want to be careful of that. Ooh, Jeff leveled up. Nice. And let's talk to the Rock. Thanks for talking to me. Aww. That kind of reminds me of that scene in Malcolm in the Middle where Hal and Lois were supposed to be on their anniversary, but the boys burned Lois's dress. Voice crack. Lois's dress got burned. Slight spoilers, I guess, but it's said later in the episode that Hal was the one who burned it by accident or whatever. But the funny thing about that scene, and the reason why that rock reminded me of this one particular episode, was because in that episode, Hal is waiting at the restaurant for hours while Lois is trying to figure out who burned the dress. While he's waiting, Hal meets this perfume guy who's selling perfume, or whatever the manly equivalent is. I don't remember exactly off the top of my head. But like the poor guy, when Hal was leaving, he looked at him and was like, "Thanks for talking to me." Or something along those lines. I don't remember exactly what he said. That's with the present. There's a rock candy inside. Pooh Texan. Too bad we don't have any seasonings, so we could abuse the rock candy glitch. Alrighty then, moving onward, we have some more stuff that we can do real quick. Yay! So, there isn't really a whole lot much to talk about with the Lumine Hall itself. So, something I'd like to talk about real quick is like the Nintendo Switch, because it's something that I legitimately wanted to bring up real quick. We don't need the plain ROM, we can get rid of that. Something that's kind of been concerning me about the Nintendo Switch is how are they going to handle the Virtual Console? Because what was in the other ladder? Nah, we'll check that later. The Wii U, when they made the Virtual Console, they decided to start from scratch with the Wii U Virtual Console. So it took a long time for most games to be released for it, and while we ended up getting EarthBound and EarthBound Beginnings on the Virtual Console, which I have to say, I will forever appreciate the Wii U for giving me the ability to play EarthBound, because this is my favorite RPG of all time, and it is the game that eventually convinced me to give RPGs like a chance and things like that, which I'm really happy that I did, because I am a huge fan of RPGs now. But that's besides the point. Virtual Console. What I really hope they do is that I really hope that they link your Virtual Console games that you've downloaded with your Nintendo Network account. So you can like transfer your save files from the Wii U or the Wii or whatever to the Nintendo Switch Virtual Console. Like they could probably make it so they can like download the games separately and have those released over time. But if you already have the games, you can link your Nintendo Network account to the Switch and have them there already. Because I really want to be able to play EarthBound on the Nintendo Switch, because I would love to be able to play this game like in between classes in college or whatever. Because let's be honest real quick, I am probably going to be playing EarthBound way beyond after this Let's Play is already over, because, believe it or not, I have played Captain Toad Treasure Tracker since I finished that Let's Play completely. So, games that I'm really passionate about, like EarthBound or things like that, I'm going to be continuing playing after the Let's Play is over, so I'm still going to be playing EarthBound for a long time. But I would just love to be able to play EarthBound on the Nintendo Switch without having to wait like a year or two before it comes to the Virtual Console, because another problem I have with the Virtual Console with the Wii U was that it took forever for games to be released for it. Because, like, a big example I could think of was it took a year for The Legend of Zelda Link to the Past to be released on the Virtual Console. And say what you will about Link to the Past, but personally, I'm not really that big of a fan of A Link to the Past, so please don't hurt me. That's a story for another time, but because even though I personally think it's one of the weaker of the 2D Zelda games, it's still a very big deal in the Zelda community to have A Link to the Past on. Whoa, what? This is the Earth type. Okay, that was worth it. That's totally worth this long walk over here. Alright, so something a little awkward happened during that battle. I'm gonna move on with another topic because I've already said everything I want to say about Virtual Console. Something weird happened during that. The uncontrollable sphere enemy used the laughing maniacally attack on us, and Pooh had the stats effect of feeling strange. But all of my notes say that the laughing maniacally attack has no effect on anything. So I may have to go back and update some of my information to make it more accurate. And you are a jerk conducting spirit. I hate your face. Well, Pooh died during that boss fight, so... Not during the boss fight, during the regular battle that's not a boss fight. So, Paula has a couple of life noodles, so let's go use that on Pooh. I believe Pooh has a healing ability that can make him... And that gives him a chance to revive party members or whatever. That was something that I did that I did pretty often during my first playthrough of the game, where I'd use PSI healing to revive party members frequently, because I could not keep my party alive during my first playthrough of the game. But that's besides the point. I'm saying that a lot lately. Oh, we got Rabbit's Foot. Okay, that's pretty cool. I don't think we're gonna need that though, because we're gonna be coming up to some pretty... Whoa, was that enemy in a part of the overworld that we couldn't reach? Okay, we've seen examples of this before, like that one enemy in Foresight that spawned on the water. But that's something that I think is pretty funny about EarthBound, how sometimes enemies can spawn in areas that you can't reach normally. I always just found that pretty interesting. Alright, now I'm going to backtrack a little bit to that one ladder that I was pointing out a moment ago. This right here is a boss fight, so we'll take care of that in a moment, but I'm going to backtrack real quick. If there's something worth pointing out, then I'm going to cut ahead back to that boss fight. Okay, so it was a really good idea to come over here because there was a present that I forgot to collect. So we should probably go collect that. That might be a good idea. After we defeat this enemy right here, and my eyeball is itchy. Eyeball, stop it. Stop being itchy. This is what happens when I record at 3 in the morning. I get tired and stuff like that, and my eyeballs want to go to sleep, but I don't want to go to sleep because I'm recording stuff. We can use this right now. Let's use it on Ness. It's very necessary that we do that. And I already made that pun already, but I don't care. Magic butterfly! Alright, if you want a reference point for where we are right now, this is the same rock that we talked to earlier. I probably could have planned out our route through this area a little bit better, but whatever. We're just going through here normally. We're almost done with the sanctuary, so it's not like there's gonna be that big of a deal. Let's go fight you. Let's go defeat you. Be defeated already. You are defeated. What is with me and singing in this Let's Play? Alright, so speaking of singing, like I was really close to cutting out that portion of the Sword of Kings search where I started randomly singing. What I was originally going to do was I was originally just going to speed up all the footage that I recorded for that, and just play music in the background while I describe the new PSI abilities we learned. I decided to that's going to be kind of boring if it's just that, so that's why I ended up keeping the part of the video where I start singing. But anyway. We now have all the items in this area, I think. Hopefully we do. But now we'll be facing the boss of the Lumine Hall. You finally got here. This is your 7th year sanctuary location, but it's mine now. Take it from me, if you dare. Alright, this is the Electro Spectre. 3,092 HP, 80 power points, 148 offense, 203 defense, 29 speed, 47 gas, 261,637 experiences, $6,564 to defeat them. It's a boss fight, so it's not going to be dropping any items. Weaknesses: 75% vulnerable fire, 75% vulnerable freeze, 0% flash, 0% paralysis, 50% paralysis, 0% paralysis. Attacks: electrical attack, PSI Thunder Beta, 100 HP sucker, drains your HP, neutralizer, cancels all active PSI effects, and sealed killer removes all PSI seals. And speaking of seals, this enemy will have a sealed active when you're at the beginning of the battle. So what you want to do is you want to have everybody be defending and things like that. And you want, if you have it, use Jeff's sealed killer on this enemy. It did not work. That was weird. Maybe you'll try again. Let's try it again. It's supposed to work, but for whatever reason it didn't. Let's try it again. Let's try it again. Come on. Yeah, whatever. Oh, I don't care. I'm just gonna pass this enemy and hope the seal goes away, because that's a good strategy. Something interesting. I said earlier in the video that I have a bit of history with this sanctuary in particular. And let me explain why. At the beginning of every boss fight for the sanctuary, they say that like this is your 3rd sanctuary or your 7th sanctuary or something like that. Guess what? I said earlier in the Let's Play that on my first playthrough, I unintentionally fought the bosses of the sanctuary out of order. I went from the sanctuary in Winters. I skipped hold on, let me pull up my notes to see what those sanctuaries are called, so I don't mess anything up. Okay, I ended up unintentionally skipping Magnet Hill and Pink Cloud because I never found the sanctuary in Foresight. I never bothered looking around there, and I didn't even think to go back to Dahlem to look in the Pink Cloud to look for Pink Cloud. So yeah, I was really, really underleveled when I came into this place. And not just that, after I beat the Master Barf enemy boss thing from the Deep Darkness or whatever, I kept the Casey's Bad Item equipped for the longest time. So I was underleveled, going from the Pyramid, through the Deep Darkness, through all of Lumine Hall. And while I was in Lumine Hall, I had the Casey's Bat equipped. I think I also had that during Stonehenge Base as well. But I had the Casey's Bat equipped, so Ness was missing a lot of the time while being underleveled. And I didn't realize that I'd skipped a couple sanctuaries until I got to this point when he said, "This is your 7th sanctuary." And I was like, whoa, wait? 7th sanctuary? What happened to the 5th and 6th ones? I didn't realize that I hadn't gotten to the one in Foresight yet, and I didn't even think about looking at Dahlem. So yeah, that was pretty interesting. That was a pretty fun experience. I'm Ness. It's been a long road getting here. Soon I'll be. What will happen to us? What's happening? My thoughts are being written out on the wall. Or are they? Ness saw a vision of his father holding him. Ness's soundstone recorded the melody of Lumine Hall. Before we leave, I gotta say, I love this area right here. It's just so mysterious and mystifying and things like that. I can't I just really, that's all I can really explain it. I just love this area so much. Um, Before we do anything else, it might seem a little anticlimactic to sell this before we completed it, but there's a sound effect in the sound stone that I'd like to demonstrate real quick. So that sound effect at the very end will tell you that you haven't completed the sound stone yet. We will have it completed by the time we complete the next sanctuary, which is going to be very close. So without further ado, let's go into this whole thing.